Wait, there we go.
So, yeah, let's introduce our guests. We got John Van Hees, PBA champion, 14-time NEBA champion?
13.
13.
Yes,
We're getting there. NEBA Hall of Famer, Rhode Island Hall of Famer, hundreds of perfect games. And a lot of people say you're in the conversation for like the top bowlers in the area, like all time. And, you know, you can give some great insight on a lot of the obstacles to getting to the top of this sport. And we thought that we could pick your brain a little bit. So.
John Van Hees, you're a PBA Tour champion.
That's right here, baby.
Jonathan Van Hees earned this title. It's 4th through 7th, the key.
There, baby. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to hear a little bit about you, like a little off the lanes, like your hobbies, just like who you are, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously bowling's a big part of my life.
Yeah.
Off the lanes though, got my kids. I got 3 kids now.
Yeah.
So they take up a great chunk of my time off the lanes. But when I get a little bit more time to myself, I do a lot of baseball, amateur baseball, hardball. I play on an 18s, 30s, and 40s team. Center fielder, pitch a little bit when I can. I'm starting to get back into that more now, but hit leadoff.
Yep.
So I feel like I'm pretty athletic, and I enjoy baseball a lot, dude. It's like my greatest passions.
Dodgers fan?
Yeah, huge Dodger fan. I was born in LA, so for me it's Raiders, Lakers, Dodgers.
Right.
I'm a diehard LA guy. I'll always stick to those. I left LA when I was 13, moved here in '94. I was 13 years old at that point, just turned 13.
Yeah.
So I've been in New England ever since. And I love being here, but I'm an LA guy, so it just is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it's been really, really good to me. So the off the lane time it's pretty divided.
Yeah, so on the lanes, tell me about your perspective on what you've been able to accomplish and just, you know, what you think about the journey and what's happened along the way.
Well, it's been a long one. I started going out, really traveling a lot when I was about 18, 19. I worked at Newport Creamery for a couple of years.
Oh, yeah?
During high school years, I made all my money 3 or 4 days a week. Those weekends, I would travel to GBTs, bowl 2 every weekend, bowl in a different conference every day.
Yeah.
Saturday would be Connecticut oftentimes. Then I would go to New Jersey, New York, Delaware, Maryland, wherever I had to go for a Sunday tournament. Stayed over a lot of friends' houses. Kind of built my experience levels really there a lot when I was a young kid. When I went adult, same thing. I just started bowling every weekend, traveling a ton when I was a young guy.
Kind of evolving your life around it.
Everything, yeah. I mean, I was obviously the shops came pretty young into my life too, but I started really getting into the whole bowling trail a little before the shops came in.
Okay.
I was lucky though. I was 21, 22 when the shops kind of fell into my lap in a sense.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity at that point to jump into it, own a shop, manage a shop, and not only one shop, but multiple shops.
When did you start Strike Effects?
Strike Effects basically started in 2005. I was 24.
Okay.
We officially bought ownership into it in 2005, but our main bulk of stores started in 2006.
Okay.
That's when we had 5 stores originally, Taunton, Cranston, Somerset, Westport, which was our first location technically ever, Westport, Mass, and Northport was one of our original stores when we first got there. It was like 05, 06 in that range.
Yeah.
So we had 5 stores pretty quickly, consolidated it down after a few years into 2 stores. My father and I ran Somerset and Cranston primarily. We got Offer East Providence in 2013. And once we got that, I brought in Aguiar as my partner.
Right.
And things just started to absolutely blossom from there.
Yeah, it's been
and
going
we're
good.
really strong now.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, John, I'm going to ask, do you have any advice practice-wise or things of that nature for a lot of newer bowlers to help them get to the top levels of the sport?
Sometimes people go a lot more into the physical stuff than is necessary to an extent. It's always necessary to put in as much as you can, but at the same time, you know, I don't practice a lot. I practice, you know, once or twice a week. I don't practice a lot. I spend a lot of time in the gym. I cook my own meals. I discipline myself. I learned a lot about bowling balls. I learned about lane conditions, oils, topography, environmental issues. You know, this takes a huge body of work to be really good at it.
Right.
And you can't just put it all into one. You got to be able to put it into a lot.
Gotta have all the tools, yeah.
All the tools.
Yeah.
All the tools. You know, time is the friend of everybody, and it's also the enemy of everybody too. You know, how hard are you willing to work? How many times you willing to get kicked down and fall down and fail, and then willing to come back? We're all gonna fail. Inevitably, we all fail. I mean, there's nothing to it. You fail. When you fail, how do you handle that failure? And that's all the guys with ball companies look at, reps look at, the tour looks at. They want to see who the superstars are, and the superstars sometimes come from these failures because you understand what it takes to be there. You understand the humility of it, how hard it really is to be a great player.
I got you. Would you say that kind of, you know, encapsulates all the obstacles you might face along the way, those things you just mentioned?
Not all of them. You could never name them all. We all face different ones. You know, everybody's got a little different obstacle.
Do you want to come to mind?
Yeah, for me, mine was a big physical part of it. You know, for me, mental, physical, things like that. Like, I never went out there feeling I was a great physical player. I just feel like I was the smartest guy in the room. I feel like I was the hardest working guy in the room. Like, I'm in the gym 4 or 5 days a week. I'm running. I'm lifting. Like, you know, I'll put myself up against anybody athletically on the tour. Like, I think I'm the greatest athletic player the tour's ever seen. That's the way I feel, though. Whether it's true or not doesn't really matter to anybody else but me. That's what really is important, is that it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It doesn't matter what anybody else encapsulates. You have to go into that, and you have to be that guy. And you have to believe you're that guy. Because if you're going to win, you're going to beat those guys, you got to be that guy.
Right.
And only person that has to believe that is you. It doesn't matter if anybody else believes that. You got to believe that.
Yeah, that's a new perspective. And let's see. I think that's all we got. I appreciate you taking the time. And yeah, thanks again, John Van Hees, Matt Hansen, signing off. Thank you, man.
Yeah, bro. Thanks, pal.